Hello everyone and welcome back to UE5 BP Guru, and we're going to continue on with our inventory. This is hopefully what will be the final part. So today we're going to take a look at that unequipped slot. This will basically deal with putting your equipment slot back into your inventory. Now I have noticed a little bit of a flaw with this because I used the inventory pickup information to code this, but basically it's not necessary for one reason, and that is that it does tend to put this, it just puts the whole stack back in your inventory because you equipped a whole stack. So it's a bit of a weird way of doing it basically. But we're going to start off by doing a third-person character, and we're going to get our inventory. So cast your third-person character, get your inventory out, and then we want to know what the last index is. And we also want to know what our inventory size is. And we want to see if they are equal. Because again, if they are, we can't unequip that item. So just bring that up there to keep it neat. So yeah, we're checking to see that inventory matches up. Now, if it does, if we can't, we want to print string for now because we haven't got any menus or dialog boxes or anything like that. We'll call that inventory full. And if it's false, we want to start off by for each loop with break. And the break is coming from the inventory. So just, I don't know, drag this down so it sits nicely. There we go. And the first thing we're doing is we're going to do a branch. And we also need to get our equipment slot. So get the equipment item, and we're going to break that to get that information. We're also going to break this. And we're going to see if these match up. Now, you might have some instances where you have two stacks of apples, so this could come back true, but ultimately it's never going to get added to that stack. So, and you'll probably see why me doing it this way was a bit silly. I could have bypassed a lot of this, but it doesn't matter too much. We can not worry about it because, like I said, we always equip the full stack. So it's just a strange way of doing it, but it's fine. We're doing it this way. It does work. It's not the end of the world. It's just a little bit of extra, but also pointless code. Now, if this comes back false, where did this come from? Oh yeah. So I gotta remember what I did. We need to check the quantity. That's what I was thinking we had to do. It's fine, right? We take this quantity and we add it to this quantity. Again, unless you have two half stacks of apples, for example, you're unlikely to worry about this. I don't know, but anyway, then we set member. Set member, right. Now, also, I just realized there should be a final check after this, especially when we have an item. So if we picked up 5 apples that we dropped and we had 4 and the stack was 6, we'd end up then with, my maths is terrible, 9, when we should only have 6 in a stack. So realistically, we should do a check here. This is also goes for the item pickup, so I might have to relook at this at some point. But basically, at the moment, we'd end up with 9 apples when our stack size should be 6 in this scenario. But we really shouldn't do it like that. We should have it a check to say, is it now over the stack max? If so, minus the stack max and set that as the overflow, and then put the stack max as the total. But we can work that out down the line. Create a new variable has been added, similar to what we have as our item pickup, and then we're going to bring this right back down round to the break. So make a lovely looking loop and just bring that bad boy around so it looks semi decent, maybe not so high as I did. There we go. So that's how we set up for items. We've just swapped out the item information for the equipment item. And I have missed one little bit here, actually, just looking at it. We need to set that array, which is our, if we add a pulley out here, we need to set array element like that. Plug that bad boy in there. Bring this down a bit and do that. There we go. The array index obviously comes directly from this array index, so we know which one we're setting. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep everything as neat as possible so it all makes sense for you guys. There we go. And then the item is obviously the strut out of this quantity. There we go. So that looks a lot better. Right, okay, that looks correct to me now. Okay, so like the items, we need to do one final branch check to see if it has been added, like so. And if it's true, we can now set our third person characters. Let's get our third person character reference, get that, and set the equipped item to blank. We don't want anything to be in there anymore. So if it's true, it's been added to the inventory, just set the equipment thing back to blank. Get our UG inventory, clear the children, and then, like always, build our inventory, build the equipment slot, and build the inventory. And final thing we have to do is the false, in which we want to take our inventory and we want to add, so that we have the item added into it. And what the item we're adding is this equipment slot. So we're going to get the equipped item and we're going to add that in, like so. Wonderful. And that should be all we need for that. That should be done now. So that's our unequipped slot. So that should now work. So if you have an item in there, we should be able to unequip it. Now we are going to use this again in other scenarios. So we will be calling that function again. So the next place we need to go now is the item slot tutorial widget. And we're now going to basically set up the functionality of the button. And that's all we should need to set up. We shouldn't need to do anything else that's any other fancy business. So grab our item slot button, get the on-clicked function or event or whatever. And again, you probably guessed it, we're going to cast to the third person character. I got the wrong one. Gosh darn it. Cast to third person character. Better. And we're going to get player character, like so. And then we're going to get all widgets of class. All widgets of class. There we go. And we're going to select our inventory. Inventory widget. We're going to do a get. We should only ever have the one, so that should be fine. And then we're going to promote that to a variable. I just call mine, just call it inventory, or just call it inref, so our inventory reference. And then we need to do a branch check, because we need to know what we're doing. And the first thing we want to do is get our equipment item. We're going to break it. and we're going to check to see if it's equal to none. You're probably seeing lots of patterns here, but it's all silly things we have to do to get things working. So we're going to check if that's equal to nothing. Now, if it is equal to nothing, we can just add the item. But if it's false, we need to unequip that slot. That's the function we just made, and that will basically put that inventory, that equipment item back into the inventory, ready for us to move the inventory item into that slot. So we're going to get, nope, I'm pulling this off the wrong thing, that's why. This is why we need our third person character. Get inventory, there we go. Put a little reroute node so it looks flashy and nice. And then we're going to run a for each loop with break. Put that in there and put that in there. Okay, so once we've done that, we are now going to use our item slot to find the item we need. So equals this, branch check. And if that's true, we can now create a new variable. Now this is going to be the item, our item strut, where it is, strut. Item strut, there we go. And we'll call this focused item. Should be good. And we are going to set that in there. Very nice. And it will be this. Let's just give it a bit of a prettier reroute node. There we go. Wonderful stuff. And once we found it, we just need to loop around and break so we don't keep going through and finding every item that matches that sliding. Now there shouldn't be another item, but obviously it's just to stop the loop happening and things like that. Wonderful. Now, once we found our item, we just need to do a few other things. We're going to, first of all, we are going to set the equipment item, like so. And the focused item is this one here, like so. Now, what we don't want to have happen is we don't want to remove all instances of that item. So for example, when we pick up 2 of our toolboxes, if we remove that item from our index, what will happen is we're going to lose everything, all of those instances of that item. So what we're going to do is we're going to get that same item slot, and instead of leaving it as the item is, we're going to set this item to blank. And then what we're going to do is, because we shouldn't have any blank items in our inventory, we're going to remove all items that are blank. Because if you look on this, remove all instances of item from array. So if it removes all of the items that are toolboxes, we'll lose any extra toolboxes we have. So by setting it to blank and we remove all the blanks, we're just kind of fixing that issue. And then as if we get our inventory reference, we want to get UG inventory, and we want to clear the children. And then you probably already guessed it, but we want to build our inventory, and then we want to build equipment slot. And by doing this, we should, in theory, have our working inventory now. So let's test this out. Pick up a few different items. Now when we click on the apple, oh, it didn't do anything. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Oh, there you go. I might need to, okay. Let's just move this along. Let's copy this again. I don't think, I think it is doing what it should do, but it's not rebuilding anything because I think it loses the reference from the for each loop. I think that's what I found when I did this the first time. Let's see if that now works. Hmm. Oh, interesting. We got some interesting problems here. Okay, let's problem solve this. Oh, I see what I've done. I've pulled up the wrong inventory. That's what I've done wrong. Inventory toot widget. Inventory toot widget. Right, there we go. Because they're not linked correctly. Oh yeah, I need to do a new get, don't I? Get. Copy, set that as that. Get rid of that. Let's promote this to a promote to new variable. Okay. I think it's because I was pulling up the wrong inventory, right? Um, I was setting it in the other inventory that didn't exist. So I was just basically deleting out items and not moving them around. Let's use the new variable one. I'm not going to bother renaming it, so it's fine. Okay, now it should work. Let's try it now. Yeah, I was trying to add stuff to something that just didn't exist. I think that was the problem, right? Oh, okay, still not quite working. Inventory 2 widget, yeah, that's fine. Oh, what is wrong with me? Right, new reference goes in there. Get, no, get the new reference, unequip slot. Right, might have to do this for the ones. No, no, oh, and what am I doing? Right, no, break that. God, this tutorial was going so well, wasn't it? Right, let's do that. Okay, now we need to get rid of. Yeah, okay, this is. Yeah, this is making sense now. Get UG inventory. Clear children. And build inventory. Build equipment slot. I also realized I built the inventory twice. For God's sakes. What is wrong with me? Right, okay. I bet all of you are like screaming at home, like, what are you doing? Right. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try this again. Okay, fine. Right. Gotta have the problem solving, right? It wouldn't be a series without it. Right, there we go. And now, so that this button's not working, so that's fine. But this one is. So this one's working fine, but that one's not. So let's have a look at that one now. So back into the inventory tutorial, right? On equipped button, is it equal to none? Ah, is it equal to none? False. There we go. Now let's try it. It should be working. Okay. Don't come off the true, ladies and gentlemen. Right. There we go. It's working as intended now. There we go. I knew we'd get it done. Don't worry. I wasn't panicking. It's fine. Pick up the apple, goddammit. There we go. Apple, apple. So if I press I again, we now have. Oh, wait a minute. What happened there? Where did my stuff go? Hang on. Oh, okay. Right, right. Okay, let's try this again. Right. Goes in the inventory, comes out of the inventory. Right. Okay, okay, okay. Goes in the inventory, comes out of the inventory. Goes in the inventory, comes out of the inventory. Doesn't come out of the inventory. What is happening there? Did I miss something on here? Ah, I see. Okay, I see where my issue lies. So I had accidentally put this on the true, whereas this should be on the false. So You probably already just saw me do that. I don't know why I'm explaining, but you get it. And then on here, I think actually what I need to do is set this to false before it runs through, because what was happening is it equaled, and so it trued, and then so it added the quantity to this, but then this remains true. So it's running through the loop, and every time I click on it, it's always true. So even if this comes back false, it checks this and goes, no, it's true, and then it just sets the equipment slot back to 0, and then clears the children and the equipment slot. So it was equipping, but it was never going back into the inventory, which it should have done here. So that's what was happening. Right, so now let's just give it another go. Make sure I actually am correct in what I'm saying there. Right, okay. And actually the problem lies when I was using the toolbox. So let's just... It's now working, yeah. Great. We fixed it. We fixed the issue. Phenomenal. So that now we have a working inventory. Next episode, we've just got to start equipping that item into our hands so that we can start eating and shooting and doing all that kind of good stuff. But we're getting there. It is getting there. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Hopefully you found this episode useful, and I will see you in the next episode. Much love. Take care. Bye.